Are we on yet? Hey, it's Marie Forleo, and you are watching Marie TV, the place to be to create a business and life you love. And this is Q&A Tuesday. Today's question comes from Vanessa, and she writes, "Hi Marie, I love your show and everything you do. As a matter of fact, I made my 14-year-old daughter read Make Every Man Want You because I wish I knew all that stuff when I was her age. You should have seen her face when I handed her a copy of the book. You go, mama." Here's my situation. I started my own business in 2011. It hasn't taken off as fast as I expected, but I am not giving up. My husband doesn't really believe it will ever happen, and I feel his confidence in me is a key pillar of my success. I work full-time, teach fitness twice a week, go to school online, and I have 2 kids. I feel like I'm having an affair when I'm working on my business during the little time I have left. The guilt remarks never end, so my cue: how do you bring your spouse on board to see the big picture when things are not moving as fast as expected? Vanessa, this is an awesome question that so many of us can relate to. But listen up, y'all, because what I'm about to share with Vanessa is specific to her relationship. However, just because I'm talking in heterosexual married terms does not mean that you can't find ways to apply this insight to your relationship, whatever that looks like for you. And mamas and papas watching with your little ones, this episode does contain some mature content, so please use your discretion or your headphones. All right, here's the deal. When your spouse isn't on board with your business, the first place you gotta look is in the mirror because you wanna see what part you're playing in the fact that he's not totally on board. Now, I know in relationships it takes 2 to tango, and of course, your husband has his part to play as well. However, in this lifetime, the only person that we have control over is ourselves, so that's the place we gotta start. I sense from your tone that you really love your husband and your family, and that's fantastic. Now, the great news here is that there are 3 simple but highly effective steps that you can take to get your spouse on board with your big dreams. Step number 1, make him your number 1 priority. When your man doesn't feel like he's your number 1 priority, the relationship begins to deteriorate. Now, here's the thing. You can't just say he's your number 1 priority. You have to really demonstrate it, and you have to walk the talk. And most importantly, he has to feel it. How do you do that? Verbally appreciate him daily. Take a look around and catch him doing something awesome and then articulate that. Tell him he's your hero. Now, I know many women may hear this and get their panties in a bunch and say, "Yeah, he doesn't do that for me." Doesn't matter. You need to go first. As with any relationship, if you want to change it, you have to take responsibility, take charge, and make it happen. Can it really be this simple? Yes, but it takes effort consistently, which brings me to step number 2, which is all about consistency. Step number 2, blow his mind regularly. Vanessa, as a woman, you know that there are certain things you can do to blow his mind. You have to make it your job to blow his mind. And if you haven't been blowing his mind that much lately, I can pretty much guarantee that the lack of mind blowing is definitely a contributing factor to your husband not being 100% supportive of your business. So do something about it. I mean, in a committed relationship, sex is healing. I know this because Marvin Gaye told me so. Bottom line, and yes, it's a tweetable. If your husband's not impressed with your business, make it your job to blow his mind. Step number 3, get and stay on the same page. You know, one of the first places that I go when I'm trying to help someone grow their business is I ask them about their vision. What exactly are they trying to create and why? So in other words, what does success look like to them? 99% of the time when I ask someone this question, they look like a deer in headlights because they've never really taken the time to clearly articulate their big vision. chances are you may not have articulated your big vision to yourself or, more importantly, to your husband. Look, your husband is not a mind reader, and even if you have your big plans all up in your head, if you haven't fully articulated this to your husband and, more importantly, made sure that he got it, he probably feels in the dark. So here's your assignment. Clearly articulate your big business vision. What does your business look like in a year, in 2 years, in 5? What do you expect it to earn? Best case scenario and worst case scenario. What is it going to take in terms of your daily and weekly time to make it a success? What kind of financial commitment will it take from you and your family? What's the timeline? And what's your plan B if things don't work out, and when do you pivot to it? The point is to lay everything out in writing, so it's not some vague dream in your head, but it's actually a concrete plan, and you're including him in the process. Then you want to get his feedback. See what he feels about all this. Get his questions, his concerns, really listen to everything he has to say. And make sure as your business journey continues that you keep communicating about your progress and your frustration so he does not have to wonder. This is going to be really good for you guys. It'll keep you connected, and it'll keep you from feeling like your business is your secret part-time lover. While these steps aren't exhaustive, they will help tremendously, Vanessa. Thank you so much for that cue. I loved A-ing it, and hopefully you're going to get some great results, so keep us posted. Now, I'd love to hear from you. Have you ever felt unsupported by your spouse for your big vision? What steps did you take to get them on board? I would love to hear your story and your experience. As always, the best discussions happen after the episode over at marieforleo.com, so go there and leave a comment now. Did you like this video? I happen to love it. If you did, please subscribe to our channel and, of course, share it with your friends. And if you want even more great resources to create a business and a life that you love, plus some personal insights from me that I only talk about in email, get your buns over to marieforleo.com and sign up for email updates. Stay on your game and keep going for your dreams, because the world needs that special gift that only you have. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time on Marie TV.
It's in everywhere. It's in all of it. It's everywhere.
Yeah, I knew that, Eric. my Nescafe. I've been having cravings for Cinnabons.